Good morning, guys. Today we're talking about the Milwaukee M12 job site radio. So this is the M12 version. It's been an awesome, I've probably had it for a few months now, it's been awesome. But I want to give you a review, an honest review of the product, and just talk about the good and bad that goes with it. So it's on their M12 platform, which means it takes the little M12 batteries that you can see in the back here. This is a 3 amp hour. I went to the 3 amp hour from the 2 amp hour, just to do with length of time and that it can run by basically. So pretty much let's just talk about the whole thing from the start. All right, so it's an M12 on their M12 platform, an M12 radio. But the good thing about this is it's Bluetooth, it's an AM/FM radio and DAB if you're in that area, DAB, but also it's a charger. So you can plug this in using the power pack, which I'm not really a fan of, but how else do you get in Australia 240 down to 12 volt using one of these? So you can plug that into the wall and it powers it, but also if you've got a battery in the back, it'll run on the battery, which is awesome, and charge the battery as well while you're listening to your radio. Now in the back, let's start off at the back. You've got this little panel here that also has a rubber, I guess, protector, element protector. Make sure to try and stop dust and bits and pieces from getting in there. In the back, we've got our power plug for our power supply, and moving across, we've got a USB. Now that USB can be used to power anything or charge anything off this battery. So if you've got this out in the field without not connected to power, you can still charge your phone off that USB, which is awesome. It's just like a power pack, but charging off that battery, which is awesome. So that's the back. The problem is you can't have the sealed sort of cover on while it's charging. So that's just one thing to consider. I did have this fall off the back of my ute, and no dramas. So I actually had this plugged into my inverter and charging that way when I was camping. So I mainly use this if I'm fishing, I want to listen to a bit of radio, listen to a little bit of music or something out the bush while I'm having lunch, something like that. That's mainly what I use it for. If I'm working on my car, that kind of thing. Again, I'm not paid by Milwaukee. I simply went out and bought this. Now in Australia, I paid $228 for this, which I think's awesome. I think I was looking for something that's small, but also cost effective. So you can go to their M18 version, which I've got a lot of their M18 tools. The problem with the M18 stuff is that their charges, I think, are expensive for what it is. It's just a radio. I think they're way too expensive. But this is really suiting the purpose. So it's been awesome. And it doesn't take up a heap of room in the car, which is the majority of what I wanted. Let's talk about audio quality now. I've been in the entertainment industry for a while. I'm a sound guy. So when I pick this up, I'm naturally going to notice what it sounds like. And I didn't listen to it before I bought it. So they didn't have any in stock, so I had to order it online, and just took a bit of a gamble. Look, to be honest, first impressions were that it was lacking in the bottom end, so the bottom end response. But what do you expect for a little speaker like this? Which what is the size? Does it even say? I don't think it even says. Anyway, look, to be honest, it's a little speaker, and I think what they've done is they've tried to make sure the mid and top end, mid-range, basically throws and you can hear what's being said, rather than full range speakers make it sound okay. What they've done is they've tried to make it in a noisy environment that you can hear what's being said, and I think that's a good way of looking at it. I think if anything, it's just lacking in that bottom end, and I would think for someone like Milwaukee, I think they could even join up with someone like JBL and put one of their little JBL drivers in here or something like that. I think it'd be awesome. Because I think JBL, even with their little Bluetooth speakers, their flips and that, have got just that extra step up on audio quality that these don't have. Then again, this is sort of going to a different environment. But anyway, just my view on things. This has got Bluetooth as well. And the best thing about this Bluetooth is it is lightning fast, like literally fast, and probably the fastest I've ever seen in a device anywhere. So faster than your car, anything like that. Just flick the Bluetooth switch, your phone connects straight away. It's awesome. So a lot of the time I do that, I play music off my phone, connect to here, it's been fine. Range-wise, it's also been fine. I haven't had too many dramas with it, especially when I'm out fishing or whatever. I got my phone in my pocket, that kind of thing. Volume-wise, it's okay. It's it's loud enough, but not overly loud, if that makes sense. I don't think it'll want to go any louder for the drivers and things that are in here. That's probably what they've done. They've tried to protect the unit. It might be lacking a little bit on audio, volume-wise, but it's what it is for the size, and I think that's important. It's got the user menu, the user system and the buttoning system is fine. So it makes sense. You know, you get some things and they just don't make sense from the start. Why would they do that? No, this doesn't make perfect sense. I didn't read the instructions, just got it out of the box and it was good to go. The screen holds up fine, even in the sun, it's not too bad. It's what you expect. You can save specific channels in your area as well, which is awesome. And yeah, it's pretty good. The only downside to this is the warranty here in Australia, at least, is 1 year, which I think lets it down a touch as well. Touch wood, I haven't had any dramas for the few months that I've had it, but I still feel like a year, yeah, it just goes to show how much they back the unit, I suppose. But again, you know, you get what you pay for. For $228, I think it's pretty good for this little unit. Antenna is this here, antenna, so it sits back in here, so it's out of the way, you can't knock it. You pull it out, it's got two sort of pivot positions, I suppose, so you can pivot it in and out, and that's a really good idea and works fine. So that's that, pretty cool. Yeah, as I said, battery wise, I've got a 3 amp hour in here. I did have a 2, but to get extra run time, I've gone to the 3. And yeah, that's pretty much the device. As I said, I'm not going to play it on here. I don't think there's a point to play audio or radios or things on camera because it defeats the purpose. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, and that is that it lacks in the bottom end, but the mid and high range are, I think, Milwaukee have designed it to carry and for being able to understand what's being said over the radio rather than full range volume, and that sort of makes sense for what this is as a job site radio with a lot of noise and things around. But I reckon awesome. As I said, I've also got a JBL Flip as well, so I've sort of compared the pair. JBL Flip have the better audio, but then they don't have the radio where I wanted the radio, and this is awesome because I already had M12 batteries, so I can charge it up. But so yeah, awesome. And yeah, look, I think Milwaukee have really done a good job with this. I think it's still expensive for a radio, even at $228. I think, yes, it's a charger, but I think it's just a little bit too expensive. I know you pay for the name Milwaukee, but at the end of the day, you're getting a radio and a Bluetooth connection. Okay, you're getting the charger, but I still think for $228 it's too expensive, but it's cheaper than their M18 versions, so not too bad. So, all right, guys, hey, leave a comment below if you've got any questions about it. I have used it, I have let it run. It's been used a lot over the few months that I've had it. I'm really, really happy with it, apart from those few things I said, but it's handy because I can charge it while I'm doing it. It won't charge off USB. That's something to consider. It will charge a device off USB, but it won't charge via USB. You've got to actually have the power pack plugged in. Okay, so plug that in. If you're traveling, plug it into an inverter and then plug that in and you can charge it. I did notice in the inverter there's quite a lot of noise, so I couldn't actually have this on listening to the radio while it was on the inverter. There was a lot of like electronic noise while it was charging. It does seem to be okay in a 240 volt outlet here in Australia, 10 amp outlet here in Australia, so no dramas there with charging and having it on at the same time. That worked fine, but it was just on the inverter, so yeah, it charged fine, but it was noisy, so I just turned it off while it charged. So, all right, guys, thanks very much for watching. Once again, Milwaukee don't pay me for this, but yeah, if you're in the market for a radio to take fishing, camping, or even at your job site, check out the Milwaukee M12 radio and charger. It's an awesome little thing. I'll just quickly run through some specs. So it's FM radio, Bluetooth. Of course, it's got AM as well, which is handy, and digital radio, DAB. It's got a 2.1 amp USB outlet, as I said, and it charges the M12 batteries at the same time, which is awesome. It says it's a full range speaker. I doubt that. I think it's more mid and high range, but that's what Milwaukee have said. And it's a small footprint, which is awesome. And it's actually quite light, even with the battery in there, it's pretty cool. It does have a point here that you can hang it on a nail, something like that, if you want to hang it on a nail up on a wall or something. So it does have that ability. And they're saying, Milwaukee is saying 10 hours runtime with the M12 2.0 amp hour battery. I don't know, I haven't tested that. My 2 amp hour were a little bit old batteries, but they weren't getting that out of it. But I don't know where they had the volume set either. And was that with Bluetooth, was it not? So there's a few questions there around that. I'm not saying it's not that, but with my older batteries, I wasn't getting 10 hours out of it, and that was with Bluetooth. So all of that may play a part. It has got EQ on it as well, treble and bass according to this. In all honesty, it was a bit too high, mid-rangey for me, so I made a few adjustments for that. But again, that's how I saw it, that's how I heard it, and I just adjusted it. But it's good that it's got that ability. If it didn't have that, then it wouldn't be that great. And yeah, customable radio station presets. You can store, as I said, your presets, which is awesome. So, guys, check out the Milwaukee M12 radio and charger. Awesome device, and yeah, check it out.